Hello everyone, how's it going? Hyundai here. HGC started 2 weeks ago and it has been stacked. If you, like me, have been watching the games, you know that we couldn't ask for a better start to the season. But if you're a new player, there are probably many things that you don't know yet. And there aren't many good sources to get that information. That is why I'm creating a series of videos to explain pro play towards the newcomers who are interested in watching HGC and supporting Heroes Esports, but don't have enough information just yet. So let's start with the teams. Every Heroes of the Storm team has 5 players who play 5 different roles, defined by themselves and their team. Different to other MOBAs, there is no substitutes in Heroes of the Storm. That means that every team has only 5 players and sometimes a coach who's not allowed in game and talk to the teams in game. No way, there is no information like that. So all the 5 players on every team are the ones who call the decisions in game, and are the only 5 players who play. So let's start with what are those roles. So this is very flexible between teams, especially in Korea, where they don't have defined roles like we do on the Western world, but this is fairly expected. We have a support player, a tank player, a carry player, a range flex player, and then you have your melee flex player. So let's start with what is the support player. So as is pretty self-explained, the support players play supports, but they not only play supports, the main support. They play the only support in solo support comps. That means compositions that only have one support, and they play the main support on dual support comps. That means if there is a Tassadar and a Malfurion, they play the Malfurion. Some of the heroes that you can see on their roles are Malfurion, Uthor, Rhaegar, and Stukov, and some players that you can probably watch and look at them and see how supports play are SMX from Fnatic, one of the best supports in Europe. Then you have Bakery, who was one of the best supports in the world. He sadly retired. And then you have June from Temple Storm, who is also pretty good at carrying their team. A good support player will not go for flashy plays like your usual carry player, but they will be there. They will have that Divine Shield, they will have that Cleanse, they will have that Ancestral, they will have that Twilight Dreams that will win the team fight. So support players are the silent heroes of Heroes of the Storm. Not many people look at them, but they are definitely there and they have a very strong impact in the game. Then you have your main tank. Your main tanks. These are the players who are natural shot callers. These are players who are usually very vocal. They shout a lot on comps, and they bring the energy to the team usually. They play a main tank, a main warrior with CC. There is a whole understanding of what a tank is in Heroes of the Storm. There is not much information in game, but pretty much is a warrior with high health and high CC. During the game, they focus on scouting and leading the rotations and doing vision for their teams. That means that a good tank will never show on lane unless it's absolutely necessary or they're looking for a gank. A good tank will lead the ganks because of the nature of high CC heroes like ETC, Muradin, Johanna, and Diablo. Some players that you might want to look at are JPL, who is a fantastic tank, plays for Team Dignitas. You have Hooligan from Ballistic, who is pretty young, as well as Breeze for Fnatic, who as well is pretty young. These last two are very good players who have like a very energetic personality. So I definitely suggest you looking at them, looking at their streams, and try to follow them and see what they do when you want to play for a main. If you want a main tank on your Hero League games. These are players who have a very good understanding of the game as well, and they usually have pretty good mechanics. Then you have your carry player. This is probably the best or the most common role in all MOBAs. In pretty much all MOBAs, you have your carry player who plays the flashy heroes, and while the name suggests that they carry their team, it's usually their team who allows them to do that. A good team will play around their carry player, allowing them, creating space for them, keeping them safe, so they can do the damage. They in Heroes of the Storm, the carry player usually plays the main range damage dealer. Heroes like Vala, Gul'dan, Greymane, Genji, and so on and so forth are the preferred heroes to play by these players. As you can see here, technically Jim Raynor is a carry hero as well. I have a mistake here on the thing. Some players you can look at are Poilk from Team Dignitas, not Snitch, Crosby from Turk, and Chris from Zealots. These are all fantastic players, especially Chris streams a lot, so you can watch his stream and watch him develop and practice heroes. Carry players are usually the mechanically superior players from their respective teams. Now we go on to the more obscure and such players. The range flex. Okay, so every team has a range flex, but they define it differently in their way. What we can say about most teams is that they play a second range damage dealer. Some of the time they play the third melee player, the third melee hero. They play a specialist heroes, and they play the secondary support on second support comps. So basically, these are the players who have the biggest hero pool from the whole roster. These are players who have to play all the way from Arthas to Zeratul to Tassadar to Medivh to the Lost Vikings to Sylvanas. They have immense hero pools who are usually overlapped with their teammates. So these are the players that you can't really tell easily what are they gonna play when you are watching the draft. Very good players you can look at are ADRD from Zealots. He is the Medivh god, how many people define him. He is also the mad scientist. You have Glauron from Tempo Storm, who is a range. He's very interesting because he's a range flex hero, a range flex player who plays a lot of melee heroes, like Zeratul, like Illidan, like Kerrigan. So he's a very good player to look at. And then you have Shrimpy from Team Expert, now Team Method, who is one of the best mechanical players in the world. He also plays a lot of Medivh, a lot of Chromie, Mages, range assassins. Anything in the roster, you can probably ask him and he plays it. And now we go to the sleepers, the melee flex role. Especially in North America, they call this role side laner or solo laner. So if you on the broadcast you hear top laner, side laner, or solo laner, they're usually referring to the melee flex role. They play a second melee hero, which usually is a melee assassin, a second tank, or a bruiser. So all the way from Illidan to Sonya to the Haka, or even a second tank like Arthas, etc. Moradin even, if their composition calls for a second tank. Usually the melee flex are the players who determine engages. With this I mean that they are usually the players who move away from the team, soak a little lanes, scout a little bit, and then they rejoin with their team when it's time to engage. A good example of this is the Haka. The Haka is a hero that allows your team to engage. So when the Haka is boring towards the enemy team, that is the moment for your team to engage, to probably force a 5v4. So they are away from their team most of the time, and they usually look to force 5v4 fights. These are players who have excellent map awareness. So if you are looking to improve your map awareness, these are the players that you want to look at. You want to look during their games. Sometimes the broadcasters don't focus so much on the solo lane because it's kind of boring to watch. But you can see little things like freezing the lane, or when someone is missing on the minimap, they usually retreat to their towers to be safe. Some heroes you can see on this role are Sonya, the Haka, Malthael, Thrall, Ragnaros. So basically anything that you can see on the roster, you type melee, they probably play that. You can watch some of the players you can watch on this role are Wobby from Team Dignitas. He's considered the best melee, the best solo laner in the world. Alex the Prodigy from Tricked, who streams a lot, so you can watch that. And you have Goku from Roll20, who is also a pretty good player. He, in particular, Goku is also the Delos Vikings player for their team. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. I know it's kind of fast. I'm trying this new format where I try to make the videos as fast as possible and try to bring as much information as I can. Thank you very much for watching. It means a lot to me. Subscribe if you want more videos like this. Leave a comment and tell me what do you want to see next from this kind of videos. What videos you would like to see. Please leave a like, subscribe, and maybe hit the bell icon if you are really interested on my videos. Thank you very much for watching, and I see you on the next one.